everybody. Welcome to this week's Weekly Roundup. I have a long list of different things, but we'll try to get through them as quick as we can. So first things first, just a reminder about the new LEAF pilot program that we're doing right now. There is a really great video that we just posted this week that very clearly articulates the options that you have and how the process should work. So if you have any questions, I would point you to that video. And if you still have questions after that, just give a call to the street department and we'll get those answered for you. This week, we were super excited to announce a large donation from Fisher Barton for the funding of the construction of the Performance Plaza at the town square. This is just making this project one gigantic step towards the finish line, and it's super exciting. And we're so thankful to have community partners like Fisher Barton to be able to support this economic development vision and to make sure that we can bring the town square to life and all that we've always envisioned for it to be. So thank you to Fisher Barton, and please watch for more news on the town square soon. I did a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I had a chance to listen to it just this last week while I was driving somewhere. And it's a great podcast. And I'm not saying that for myself. I'm saying that it's a great just summary of all the exciting changes and the momentum that we've had in the community in the last few years. So if you have an opportunity or you're driving somewhere, you're on a walk, I would encourage you to take a listen to the podcast. You can find it through any of Ixonia Bank's social media and website channels, and just give it a listen and kind of revel in the progress that we've been able to make as a community over these last few years and all the progress we're about to embark on and bring to fruition in the next year as well. So I just wanted to point you to that. It was a really refreshing wrap up for me. On the recreation front, there's a couple of updates I wanted to share. We have men's basketball. That registration ends today. And then the daddy-daughter dance is next week. Again, the mother-son one is full, but if you have to register for the daddy-daughter, so make sure you do that. The fall wrestling deadline is coming near. That's at the end of this month, and that's a new program for us. That's Tuesdays in November and December. And then for winter, I can't believe I'm sharing these updates with you, but it's coming, everyone. For winter, we're excited to be planning events for November. So in November, we're going to be planning on doing more of a profound Christmas tree lighting in the downtown at Sharp Corner Park. We have always had just a beautiful, tall community Christmas tree, but this year we're going to be doing community ornaments. So we're going to be inviting people to decorate ornaments and put them on the tree, and then we'll be doing, more of a ceremony for that tree lighting. And then we're also going to be bringing back the warming house, which I've mentioned before. But we've dialed in on Friday nights and then Saturday afternoons, and there'll be hot chocolate for, I think, complimentary hot chocolate, ice skate rentals, kind of the little push bars for kids that are learning to skate for the first time. So we're settling on Friday night and Saturday afternoon, and we want your feedback on that. Does that seem right? Should we be doing something on Sunday? We're kind of on the fence about what that exact scheduling should be. So if you have insight on that, please let us know. A reminder for the library about the survey that I mentioned last week. So they're firming up a lot of these kind of opening policies, which is super exciting. That means the opening is just coming in a few months, but they're looking for your input. So go to any of their social media channels or their website for just a QR code to catch that survey. There was a ton of work this last week on the budget. I'm so appreciative to our city council. I think I've done 9 budgets now, and this is the first year that I've been a part of where every single meeting we had dang near the entire city council present. So normally the finance committee is who debates the budget and kind of deliberates in detail, and then the council also has conversation, but it's less granular. So normally that's just 4 people from the city council that does that. At every single one of our meetings this week, we've had 7 out of 9, 8 out of 9 people attending remotely and in person. It's just been incredible to be able to see that participation. So I'm incredibly thankful to my city team and to our city council members for being so involved in the process and making sure that we're putting out the best budget that we can for consideration. There's one more opportunity if you're interested to join. On Monday, we'll be kind of wrapping up the budget, so it's probably a good opportunity to see what in totality we'll be presenting to the city council. Also next week, this is pretty much one of the last stops for redistricting for our work here in the city. So on Tuesday night at the City Council meeting, we will be presenting the resolution for redistricting. So if this is of importance to you, Tuesday night is the night you're going to attend either in person or virtually. You can get all that information on the city website under meeting notices or council meeting notices, something like that. It's one of the circles on the website. Rock River Financial Services, they're in the Thrivent building down on 3rd Street. They're hosting a supply drive for 2 of our area shelters. I just want to point you to that because these 2 shelters provide a lot of support to our community, and you can just drop donations right at their office or give a call to their office if you're interested to know what they're looking for. I think it ends at the end of this month. Streets, you guys, there's only 1 section of streets left. We're getting there. So just that 3rd Street, Hart Street area is all that we have left open to complete for this year. The paving, the mill and overlay of Spalding Street and 4th Street looks great, and I'm really excited to see that done. You will see the pavement marker, which is just a fancy way of saying the vehicles and the people that paint the lines on the road. The pavement markers will be out the last week of October, so please watch for them. We did a little bit of pavement marking on our own last night, which I thought was just a great idea by our city team to do that off hours so it doesn't disrupt as much traffic as it would during the day. So keep an eye out for them as they work in the roadway. I wanted just to provide a quick internal policy update. There's a lot of policies and procedures that we work on internally that don't always catch the eye of the general public, but they do affect the public. So we are continuing to modify and standardize our methodology around our code enforcement work. This year we instituted kind of a structured plan of how we would move about in the community for code enforcement inspection, and we're continuing to refine that methodology to make it as standardized as possible. We have been doing an assessment of all the land the city owns, which is more than I realized. Obviously some of it's buildings and parks and things we need to own, but we're doing a complete assessment of those properties to determine what, if any, we could potentially sell for redevelopment and to get them back on the tax roll. We're continuing in our work on the child care initiatives with our primary employers here in the community. I will be doing some advocacy at the state level, I think at the beginning of November. And from there, then hopefully we can come back to our businesses that are interested and continue to bring these pilot programs to life. And then this week at Licensing Board, we talked about outdoor commercial entertainment, which again, fancy government way of saying eating, drinking, music, events outdoors. We got some feedback from the Licensing Board. We'll be taking that back and refining it and hopefully bringing an update to them in November. So if any of those are of interest to you, watch the meeting notices in probably about a month. On the job front, we have some vacancies here at the city. We still have the firefighter paramedic opening. And I do want to point out in this year's city budget, we're trying to be creative with solving this statewide and in a lot of ways nationwide crisis around first responders and the workforce availability with them. So currently in the city budget, which doesn't mean it's confirmed, but currently in there we're piloting essentially an internship program where we would work with area schools, have high schoolers come in, become our intern. We would send them through school. They would sign a contract to then work with us. So hopefully that stays in the budget, and we'll try to attack this problem from a bit of a different angle. We have some openings at the library with library assistants and library pages. Great time to be a part of the library team as that library starts to open. And then we are looking for a men's basketball supervisor. This is, I think, Thursday nights at the middle school. There's other rec fall staff openings that we have. And then probably by next week, we will have an opening we're taking 2 positions and retooling them and frankly splitting them apart because they're pretty huge jobs. So we will have a posting for a finance director and for a clerk. So if you're interested in any of those, check them out. We will not have a weekly roundup for next week. I will be out of the office at a conference that day. And then I think the week after we should be back on for a regular weekly roundup, but we won't be on next week. I know there's a lot happening in the community, just like there has been every weekend. I think there's a home football game tonight up at the high school. I know Maranatha has a home volleyball match. Our area farms are doing their Fall Fest. One of our area businesses is doing an 80s night this weekend, which I think is pretty neat. All of this information can be found on our Watertown Tourism Facebook page. And then Watertown Tourism also posted a really nice just kind of wrap up, kind of a summary of all the fall activities to do throughout Jefferson County. So if you're in need of activities for this weekend, they are available for you on either of those sites. So have a good weekend, everybody. We'll see you back next week.